What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Power Breaking Podcast. I'm Alex Reyes, and I'm here with my guest host, my co-host, Larry Fields. How you doing today, sir? Everything good?
Good. Great
Yes,
day.
yes. And then the legendary Ralph Bergamo. Thank you for joining us today. We're gonna have a great show today. Talk about all about breaking and martial arts, right? Because that's what breaking is. It involves all martial arts pretty much, which is a wonderful world. So yeah. Hey, Ralph. So man, yours how first let's start out with you've been breaking for so long, right? So how old are you right now? How old? I think you're 72, 73,
75. 75.
75. Man, and you
Yeah.
competed at the US Open last year on stage for a world title, and this year I think you took
Yeah.
off because of injuries, but I think that you're trying to
Yeah.
make a comeback again next year. But man, you've been in the martial arts first of all for how long? For how long? How did it
Since
when did it all start?
1970. Since 19. So it's quite a while. It's 40 some odd years.
1970.
Yeah. I
That's
started
before I
in
was born.
Waterbury at Rossi Academy. I actually took in college a little bit. Met a guy that reminded me of Larry Fields, to be honest with you. And he was a great martial artist, young guy. And then I came back into Connecticut after I graduated uh, from school, college. And then I started training under Rossi of 1970, 71, something like that. And then it's continued and was the Kun Tao and the Rossi family. And now Drew and I have started the American Filipino Kun Tao Federation. It's the American version of the original from World War II with Joseph Rossi, Grandmaster Joseph Rossi. And
Wow.
it's been fun. And his big thing was the intensity of breaking and what it's really for, and why people practice it and utilize it. And it's become a great sport. Larry's been doing it forever too. He's much younger than me, but he's one of the legends, and it's great to have him here with us. And uh, I thank you.
Yeah.
This is an honor. Thank you.
No, for sure. Wow. I wasn't even born in 1970. I was born in 1977. How about you, Larry? You
Well,
were
he's
born?
he's been breaking as long as I've been alive. He's been breaking for
Yeah, yeah,
25. He raises the bar for all of us younger guys because I mean I look at him 75 and still
Woo.
lethal, great breaker, also one of the top, if not in the top two or three in the world as a lightweight breaker. He's amazing. He makes me try harder. I think about him while I'm working out. I think about him while I'm doing my stuff because if he can still do it, I still want to be able to do it.
hmm
Yeah, man, it's true. And I told you I was talking to you about this before. We have a lot of conversations and about breaking, and like I was like, man, I'm getting at this late. I'm starting at 47 years old, and I feel like I need to break, almost every weekend to catch up to all these breakers that've been breaking for years. And you're like, hey, look, look at Ralph. He's in his 70s, and you said you're in your early 50s, and like so it's a good time for me. I got plenty of time in the breaking world, and for me also, breaking for me has helped me become more like it brought back that passion for everything. So like I competed in forms at the NEO last weekend. So did you, Larry, and you fought, and I was planning on fighting too. But yeah, it's just breaking when you train breaking, it's so true what you said, Larry. You're doing everything, right? You're training for it can help you with your forms, it can help you with your fighting. Like the breaking has gotten me and getting me in shape to do the other stuff, it's really amazing. But enough about me. So hey, so Larry, what was your going back to Ralph, right? Talking about Ralph a little bit here with you with your first memory. When was the first time that do you remember your first memory of seeing Ralph and a tournament breaking?
It was at the U.S. Open. I was so excited because they were from Connecticut, and I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island. So having them there, being able to talk to them, it felt like family. Uh,
Wow.
and they had so many good breakers. They had a Master Serrano, they had Clinton Murphy, they had Ronnie. They had so many great breakers that I was drawn to them because I just felt like we were cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Um, our systems are really close. A matter of fact, some of their same techniques, as Master Bergamo will tell us, our techniques are very, very similar. I'll
Mhm.
do something, they'll go, "Oh yeah, we do it this way," and oh, it looks just like ours, and it felt like family. It really did.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, for sure. And that was
We,
back in the
we,
early '90s, right?
Oh yes, and Master
yeah,
Bergamo,
yeah.
he's popping coconuts, breaking cinder blocks, and I was just like, these guys are amazing. And then I went and watched them do their self defense, and their self defense was amazing. I mean, they're just Master Bergamo just throwing these guys around like rag dolls, and and they're coming at him hard, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy is phenomenal. He really reminds me of one of my instructors, uh, Tom Sador, my first instructor, because he was hardcore to the bone, and he wanted us. His whole goal was, and just like Master Bergamo, is to be able to protect yourself in any situation that comes up, and be able to walk out of there and be the one walking out of there, not crawling.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Very
yeah,
true.
self defense. Yeah, self defense is a great division, by the way. But hey, so Ralph, man, I have so much things in my brain. It's like all coming to me. You got world records. You've been on TV. World titles. But also, you're one of the founders of the USBA, WBA, right? Which is,
Yeah.
anybody out there. They run the U.S. Open, right? They run the U.S. Open Ice Care World Championships. So how did that all start? I've always been like, how did that whole that collaboration start, and with the USBA and then with the US Open, and it's just grown to something so amazing, right? Over the years.
It, it really had. We started to break. I started with Drew Serrano, the breaking organization, to make it a professional sport someday, but make it a world united sport of all styles breaking, because it's something that I believe is very important to the inner soul, and what makes a good martial artist a good martial artist. And taken away from all, no, not taking away from anyone. If you don't break, that's fine. There's different forms that don't do that. I mean, like Tai Chi is, I'm also a grandmaster in Tai Chi, Quan, and that softness has helped me have more strength in what I do for breaking. But we went, we saw this guy on TV, and I said, we could beat him. We want to go beat him. This is the heavyweights, because him and Reeves were a big inspiration. And
Yeah.
my black belt, my black belt, one of my instructors, who's Mel Hebert out of California, he says, "You guys got to go." He says, "You guys can win this," because he's seen, and Mel breaks. So it all started, and Drew and I sat down, and we just come up with, and Drew masterminded the whole plan of all the divisions and all
Wow.
the rules, and it's always grown. And then Adam came with us 20 years ago, and he's been instrumental in making it. And we talked Corey Schaefer into letting us run the USBA at the US Open, and one thing led to another, and we ended up running the ISKA because of the USBA. We would feed it in, and then the champions from the USBA would go to the World Championship for ISKA. And it's just grown over the years, and we have a very good relationship with Mike Sawyer, Mike McCoy, and Corey Schaefer, and we have a good team relationship, and they've helped support us too. And this year was one of the biggest years that we've ever had as far as volume, and we had breakers from all over the world. So it's only keep going more and more. Our dream
Yeah.
is to make this a professional sport someday, maybe, and if we can get that and get funding and make it. But for the kids, it's just to be
Yes.
developing young little children and teaching basic strikes and breaking, because they see you on TV, they want to they emulate you, and they want to continue to get better, like their instructors show them, and making it a competitive contest for the little guys. They spar so they can do that competitively, and we ended up getting breaking to be competitive for all ages, from 3 to 5, 6 to 12, and then 13 all the way up to 18, 17, and then 18 on up. And as I said, Drew ended up with the rules, and Adam, and then now we work with Corey Schaefer for ISKA, and we're developing, just more. Like next year, I can't say anything, but the U.S. Open is going to have some new
Yeah,
divisions,
yeah,
and it's going to be very exciting. It'll bring in all the breakers that are kickers and
yeah.
flying high and this and that. So I mean,
Wow,
which is that's amazing too. So
wow.
we're gonna try to cover all areas, but
Ooh, it
and,
sounds amazing. It
yeah,
sounds amazing, man. It sounds amazing, and I did notice that growth at the U.S. Open this year with everything. Forms, fighting, breaking, like just overall, it's just growing and growing, and it's amazing for martial arts, and I love that there's gonna be some new stuff coming up too as well. So
hopefully,
that's
yeah,
yeah,
hopefully,
that'll
yeah,
be great. Yeah, that'll be great. And you guys have a great team. You guys have done so much for the sport for Rio, and yeah, and I think that it's just a beginning. I think that with social media now, like man, if social media would have been around, I always think about this, and I'm gonna ask you guys this too for both of you guys. Like, cause when I was like, if social media would have been around when I was fighting, like when it bigger, if social media was bigger like it is now, like man, when I was fighting back then, like so many people from back then could have been that were so great could have been stars now. You know what I'm saying? And like same thing with breakers. There's so many great breakers from back then that I'm learning about now. Imagine with social media how big they'll be.
oh yeah,
Like a guy like what's his name, Elton Trouter, right? Is
oh
that
yeah,
his name?
yeah,
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 guys like that. Imagine if a guy like that was around now, and then you're still great, of course, but you in your younger days, and just Mike Reeves, people like that, Drew Serrano. I wish I could go back in time to see some of you guys because I didn't get to see you guys in person. You know what I
Well,
mean? So
no, not for nothing, but you coming in so soon and ended up going into the world championships and competing, I think you're doing a great job. So you're on the right track. I mean, not many people can do that, and that's something.
yeah,
Kudos for
thank you.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
That's your determination, and that's good. And your breaking will grow, and we're
yeah,
all here to help. And
yeah.
we all want to beat each other, but we all want to help each other beat each other. So so that's kind of it's a
Yeah,
lot of it's a
yeah,
good
it's true.
feeling.
It's true. It's a great community, right? The camaraderie that's there. Like Larry, he kind of like, one of the reasons why I'll say it right now, one of the reasons why I was on stage, the only reason really, big reason was because of Larry, because he was like, I was just gonna do sidekick, and I was like, my take was like, I'll do sidekick, I'll do one division in a tournament, and that's it. And Larry's like, no, you got to do everything, and I'm like, creative, three directional, the sidekick, the power arm, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, okay. So he got me and he taught me. He did a seminar here. We did a private class, which is amazing. I think that that's the next step too for everything. I think there needs to be more seminars and more instruction. But yeah. So I think that because Larry, that's the whole point. Like when I made it on stage, pretty much like he convinced me about in April, and then I trained really hard for it, and I made it. I made it on there. So he got me on track. If it wasn't for him with pushing me and also the training and the tips that he gave me, I wouldn't have been up there really. And I'm here competing against him. You know what I'm saying? So like what you said, we're all supporting each other. And he always says it, right, Larry, that you want to be you want the competition to pushes you more, right?
For sure, for sure. I often when I do seminars, I tell people I want your students to beat my students because then they're going to listen to me when we're in the dojo. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times, you teach them and you show them, and they kind of, they kind of get off on their own and they think, oh, I'm all this, and then they don't get beat, they don't get beat, they don't get beat, and then you learn more from a loss than you do a victory, and I
Yes.
and I want my students to be at their best because we train for breaking because in a real fight, and people say, oh, boards don't hit back and bricks don't hit back. They're right, they don't. But the thing is, you're training for that second when you hit with all that power to put them down so that you can walk away and be safe. And that's the whole thing about breaking. The other thing is, it just feels good to break something. When I go into a competition, I'm like, I'm so amped up. I'm so excited to get to break something and
Yeah.
break it and not be in trouble. When I
Yeah.
was growing up as a kid, I used to get in trouble for breaking stuff. And my mom said I could tear an anvil up with a rubber mallet. And I've just always wanted to prove her right.
I think it's human nature too, right? Like you build when we're babies, we build the Legos and then we destroy it That's the
Yep.
fun part, right? We build a sandcastle, we break it. I think it's something very therapeutic, at least for me, breaking. Like for me, it's been like I've told you guys know this. I've told you guys for me, mental health ish with mental health, it's been great for me because when I don't know what it is, the release, right? There's a few things. The release that you get, the good feeling that you get of breaking something that you couldn't break before. That feeling is amazing, right? And I think that's good for everybody, for kids, adults, anybody. Like you break a board that you couldn't break before, or boards, that feeling that you get of fulfilling a goal, reaching a goal, right? A small goal, little small goals, and you keep progressing, right? So I think that aspect, and then also you could be yourself out there in the breaking. Just you can let go and just be like, it's okay to be like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I got this. And when else can you do that? If you do that in any other scenario, right? When can you get like that, right? Where you're like, let's go. And then at the same time, also, these materials do hit back, right? And I got my arm to prove it. I got
Yeah,
this
yeah,
little ball here in my elbow, and you guys got massive forearms too and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I really love it. But yeah, hey, so going back to Ralph with your career,
yeah,
um, with your career, you've been on the Discovery Channel as well,
yes,
right?
yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, because I saw it. I remember seeing it back then, and then talking to you about it and going back and looking at it, and that was super cool. So let everybody know about that whole experience. And that was a while back ago too, right? That was in the
No, that
90s.
was a Discovery was one of our. We had a lot of a lot of good um, times. I mean, the Jay Leno show was a great time, and they
Yeah.
had me do that for a record. Discovery was they called Drew, and because they saw him somewhere, and they said we want you to come in and do some stuff for the Time Warp, which was a TV series they had, and everything was slow motion, and everything was high speed camera to catch it and slow it down, and it was very popular. Well, they had me come up, and I was doing coconuts, and then Drew did a concrete block or a stack, and then I took closet poles that were like pretty big around. They were like maybe inch and a half, two. They were pretty big, and I got to beat them. I got to break them over them. So that was, and people thought these guys are nuts. So usually you break a coconut. You want to break one. They maybe break three or four in a row just to
Wow.
catch it. So
Wow.
I broke them every time I hit them, and the last one I hit, and I broke through it, and I hit the edge of the concrete block, and I hit it, and I dinged my hand, and but it was good. Come on the way home, it was swollen up. But I mean, you don't want to break too many things too many times with the same body part because they end up getting bruised a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's all right. I still break coconuts, so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 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 You
Time
break
Warp
coconut.
was very good, and it slowed it down, and that was probably one of the most um, popular of the series they showed. But we did another thing for Dos Equis Beer, Most Interesting Man, and
Oh yeah.
Larry was on the team. We went all over the country, and Dos Equis Beer would rent and have parties with like two, three, 4,000 people that they would bring in from all over, bus them in. And we went to Austin. Was Austin? Where did we go in
Yeah.
Texas? That
It was,
Austin. And they rented a mansion out, and it was like in the Spanish era, and it was kind of creepy.
Wow.
All right, but
what,
outside there was tents, and we did demos there, and that was good. And we actually won the most interesting man's contest because of the
Wow.
popularity we had. And but we went to Chicago Museum of Science and Industry. We went to California to the Vault in Los Angeles, and then that didn't work. It ended up we didn't do it there, but they flew us out. So it was a lucrative thing. And then we got called from this to do something in Beau Rivage in um, Mississippi, and they wanted us to do like a Circle A thing, but the only reason they fudged it was because they were worried the concrete would get in on the floor and the guys dropping down from a trapeze, and they could get injured.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
we devised a portable stand holding, but they never went for it. But that would have been a huge contract, but it just wasn't feasible. Vegas, we're going to Vegas this year. Larry and I are running
Yes.
with the
Yes.
U.S. AAISK and
Yeah.
Elite Breakers, and that's going to be interesting. And my black belts out there, Ray Barquin, John Gentile, Mel Hebert is, of course, my instructor from years ago. We're going to be running this, and then we're doing an American Filipino Kuntao seminar, or the Rossi Kuntao seminar joined together, and that's just on. And he's working with ICE. He works with all the different law enforcement out there, and Ray's one of my top black belts, and he's was also was picked for the Olympic team for Taekwondo way back before he came to Kuntao.
Wow.
And so that should be a lot of fun, and the breaking will be good. We hope
Wow.
it's a success. Larry's very positive on it, and
Yeah.
so we're going
Yeah.
to try to do more tournaments. I know you're going to Germany. You're going to do something in Germany, right?
I'm in Germany, but I'm gonna have somebody there. I'll probably have Ozzy there or somebody there covering the event. Like I wish I could be there so badly, but man, yeah, I already had that contract over there with Germany. But we have the flyer up right now, actually.
I see it. Yeah,
Right
yeah.
there, Las Vegas Breaking Championships, October 11, and the information is right there on the flyer. You guys could see it, so you could
Yeah.
start making
Thank you.
plans. You could go
Yeah.
to the USBAWBA.org website, right, to get the
That's
information.
just it's going up for registration today because Drew ended up tearing the tendon off his bicep, so he couldn't
Yeah,
use his computer too good. But
yeah,
it's going up today live. You can register for that. And the seminar, there's a QR code because John Gentile, former of Nevada police officer, and now he works as a training in the military and the ICE. He has a QR code, so it'll all be on there, and they can go to that seminar if they want. And that's going to be a good seminar. You got like four of the top self defense people in the world that are going to be showing what they works for them, and I enjoy it because I have to be. If I can't be effective, then I'm going to retire. So I want to
yeah,
show how I adapt myself to different a guy your size, guys Larry size, and how it's going to work and be successful. And so it's a good education. All
yeah,
right.
man,
So
for sure.
my battery just went up, but it's plugged in, so I don't
Oh,
understand
you're
what's
good.
going on.
Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I know, and I know you got something. I think at 11 and at 11,
Yeah.
right? That you got to be at. Yeah, so we'll be done in like
Oh
15,
yeah, no, I'm
15
not
minutes.
rushing.
Oh,
I had a
okay,
sign
okay,
come up
cool.
on my computer. I was wondering what it was about.
Matt,
Okay.
when we were at the castle in Austin, and you were breaking, and we set that. You remember we set the X up to do that break, and the
Yeah.
crowd went crazy when you stepped up there to break that. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Not at the X. I'm trying to think. What did you have me? What did we do?
It
I'm
was
trying to
scallop, and
think
we made an X, and there
about
was
the X. I
four of us
remember the X.
at the time, and you blew up
Yeah.
those bricks.
Okay.
How did
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it?
I'm
Yeah,
losing you
that
a
was
little
just.
bit on your voice.
Oh, it's a
Can,
little bit lagging. Go ahead.
at that when
Yeah.
we were doing the deal in
Yeah.
Austin, you remember how you felt when they had that crowd and all those people were around while we were breaking? How did you feel
Oh.
about
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a big crowd there, right, in
Oh.
Austin.
Oh, it's huge, huge, huge crowd. Yeah, huge.
Oh yeah,
It. I lost Larry. Where'd he go?
yeah. We lost Larry for a second.
Oh.
Maybe it was glitching. That's why we couldn't hear him too good. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell him to come back.
Okay.
Come back on. Yeah. Oh yeah. So man,
I
you
mean, it felt
so
great.
but yeah. But what that wasn't a martial arts event. It was kind of like where spectators are there, like in the open public. It was kind of a venue like that, or
They
it was
had
a martial arts.
different. There was tattoo artists there. We
Oh
were the
yeah,
only martial arts. We gave
yeah,
a show, and then there
yeah,
was other like for the most interesting man
yeah,
contest. They had different talents that would do some gymnastics maybe and some weight. I forget everything that was there, but I mean it was quite.
yeah.
When we went, we did it in New York City on the stock exchange, one of the schools on the New York Stock Exchange.
Wow,
We did it there, and but oh no, the Abilene thing was that was it's a lifetime, doing things like that. I mean,
man.
that's what got me. It's just a
what,
wonderful
what about
experience.
what about when we were up in at Arnold Schwarzenegger's tournament and we
Yeah.
were backstage, and tell us about the pallet that came in with the bricks that were frozen. Talk about how we had to get those things free.
Oh my God.
Frozen
No,
bricks.
that
Oh
was
my
that was that
goodness.
was in that was in New York. That was in New York, right? Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
We had
yeah,
to
yeah.
drive up. That was that. We had to drive up in a blizzard with with concrete blocks on the back of the truck,
Oh my
and we had to bring
God.
them in. And Clint, Drew, myself, so all the top black belts that came on Team Bergamo were there doing a show and a competition. Or I forget, it was a show, I think. No, competition was one
Oh
of the
no.
first USPA ones.
Oh wait, is it? Did it get stuck for you? Um. Oh yeah.
And I broke them all, and I won the event because everybody was trying to. They were so cold and so hard. That was no fun. And let me tell you what, if you didn't hit them right, you just bounced off them because we had to clean the snow off. It was that was something.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane. That's insane, man. That's crazy. But
You, Master Bergamo, you also created one of the best breaking teams
Oh,
ever.
yeah,
We
yeah,
won the U.S. Open for the breaking team.
yeah, yeah.
Tell us how you put that team together and how you kept, even when it was Gillette, or was it Gillette that was the team
Chick,
Gillette? Yeah.
Chick Quattro. Yeah, yeah.
wow.
How
Um,
you put all that together? Tell us how you brainstorm that.
Well, one of the original Bergamo black belts, Team Bergamo. Eric Sousa. There was Clint Murphy, Drew Serrano, Master Velez. These are all they're all my black belt students. Most of them were other black belts in Tang Sudo or Taekwondo, and then they came in because of our self defense. And we used to see Larry and Mike compete, and we said we got to go against these guys. We went to Stan Witz's tournament in Vegas, and we won that. I won the self defense, and Drew won the breaking, and that was world titles then. And people just started coming to us because they liked our intensity. And I wasn't the most nicest instructor in the world. I mean, I was all old, hard, old school. Bum, you screaming at them, yelling at them, making them do better. You can do better, and they liked it. They just decided they wanted to stay with me, and some left, but then it was years later they left and went out and did their own thing. But I guess being like the Grandmaster Rossi, a hard
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
tough on my students, and you're always pushing them to do more. They can do better. We had a good camaraderie, and then we used to do a lot of self defense and action stuff where it was attacks and weapons, and then breaking involved with it. So it's a complete show, and that got very very at the Arnold. That got very very popular. As a matter of fact, one of the guys I was breaking coconuts, and Wesley Snipes was there, and I smashed the coconut, and all the juice went all over his face, and he's licking his face. He's going, and that was fun there. And then we met Arnold there, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We have great memories from that. I want to do more of those come the future,
Yeah,
but we'll see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that so basic. So yeah, me and Larry talked about that. We're doing shows like that. Because I told him, oh man, we need to start finding ways to do shows outside of martial arts events to really grow the sport and get
Mm,
more exposure for it. And he was like,
yeah,
we did all that. We've done all that before. We've been on TV. And I'm like,
yeah,
but I think that now even more in a social media age, if it gets recorded and put out there as well,
yeah,
right? Like, I think
yeah.
that I think that's another thing that for growing the sport that it needs. So so how do you even go about that? They came to you, right? The people would come to you, or did you go
We
out?
we had we have contacts for the
Yeah,
for the different local TV stuff. Drew has some contacts, and we just did a demo um,
yeah,
for in New Haven, maybe about 6, 8 months ago, and we gave a show. We broke, it wasn't anything crazy, but we just did some breaking. There was maybe 5,000 people in this auditorium who were
wow,
watching us, and that was just a breaking moment. You contact local TV.
yeah, local TV,
You
yeah,
want to have do say either you want to do a fundraiser, a charity fundraiser,
yeah,
or you get them to come into your school. And you have a lot of contacts, but you also can put it out there that you want to do demos and
yes,
charity fundraisers, or breakathons, and that'll get some interest too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That those are great ideas because yeah, man, I really want to. I want to just push this thing as hard as I can. Just build. Now it's got even more momentum. Especially with my page, we're getting so many views on the page, and I was thinking that could be something that could be the next step. And one thing to imagine if there will be a world champion breaking team that we put together and go to America's Got Talent. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the exposure we'll
We
get for something
we
like
well,
that? I don't know if you guys
that's
watched
been
that
done.
America's Got Talent. It's been done. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
done it.
Oh,
my
that's right,
my daughter
Larry. You
my
told me.
daughter
You
went to
told me. That's
America's
right.
Got.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. For real? Oh my God. Yeah. Look. You see, you guys have done
yeah.
everything I've said. That's in my brain. It's
Alex,
incredible.
really, we've been pushing this. We've been
Yeah.
spearheading this. Master Bergamo, Drew, we've all been pushing this hard. We're so thankful that you're here and that you can push the media part that we have never been able to really get
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
And people, the other thing is,
Mhm.
people always think what we're doing is fake. They don't realize, how hard it is to do what we do.
It is.
Master Bergamo's been doing it for 55 years, breaking stuff, and his
Mhm.
body is a weapon. And that's how he categorizes it.
It's an art of work. For me, it's art. Like the body of work. Like for me, you guys have conditioned your bodies to like break so good because that's really for me that's my mentality to win one day. I have to it's the conditioning, it's a technique, it's everything, but you know it takes time. You can't just go and win a title in a year of breaking. I think like that's impossible because you got to build your bones up as well, and you guys have done that. For me, it's like an art form in a way to do what you guys do with your bodies and stay healthy enough to keep going, right? Because you're doing it in a healthy way where you're 70, right? Say in your 70s, and you don't have those aches and pains that people have because they're doing stuff wrong. So that's why I think the big thing also is not just the exposures, education. I like to see the future of the sport grow even more with more seminars, more tutorials, more privates. I think that teach people the right way like you guys do it, right? And then
Yeah.
they'll be able to break more, and then they'll get more excited about the competition because that's what got me hooked even more when I learned from Larry how to do things the right way, and then I'm like, okay, there's got science to it,
I,
right?
I- that's what's helped me, Master Bergamo. Talk about your diet and how you, because that's a big key on keeping your body and your longevity. I
Yeah.
know the way you eat is not like most people eat. When I stayed at your house, you eat different than most people. Talk about that, Master Bergamo, please.
Well, I mean, I'm a master trainer in fitness, and my full time business is personal training. Well, I have that in martial arts. There are two types of business, and
Yeah.
I mean, I stay healthy because I want to look the look. I want to live longer. I'm fortunate. I mean, I got injured last February, which kept me out of any competition for a year. But gratefully, I'm healing well, and it's because of what I've done. I mean, I have a lot of chicken or fish. I since I got injured, I haven't been doing too good. So I put a little weight up because I'm kind of lazy. But I watch it. I eat 3, 4, 5 meals a day. I train every day. And I do a lot of meditation. And a lot of thanking
Meditation.
to where I'm at. And the energy that you use to break could be energy to use to heal your body. And I'm a big believer in that because body can self heal many times. Um, and it's instead of thinking of this or that or being negative, and it's positive attitude most of the time. And
Yes.
that's not always been the case with myself because but breaking, the energy I get from breaking and the healing I get from breaking art is all about the science. That's why I call it martial science, because it's a science of your whole body, your whole you, and how you can use it for defensive, or you can use it for other things, and creativity. And it just comes to me. I just very, very grateful. I mean, I intend to break until maybe I'm 90 or 100. I mean, so that's what I
Yes.
intend to do. And
Yes.
I mean, safely, not stupidly, not foolishly. But that whole mental attitude is what keeps me more youthful, and and wanting to keep going and not stopping, and I'm hopefully smart enough to realize when it's time that I don't do this anymore, that I should not do this anymore. But that hasn't reached. It's not even close. I mean,
So
it's just
inspiring, man. Yeah, I got
yeah.
goosebumps.
I mean, but it's all, not just about breaking things. It's about energy through your body and how to use it, how to heal yourself mentally, physically, spiritually.
Well,
And
I know
it's
that when
it's a
I was coming back
science
from
of,
COVID,
of the mind and body. Great.
I know that
Yes.
I know Master Bergamo when I was coming back from COVID, and I called you and you told me you've got to get air in your lungs. You've got to do healthy things for your body. And
Yeah.
you gave me those breathing exercises
Yeah.
to do. That was extremely
Yeah.
helpful for me, after I lost
Wow.
my lung. And I mean, I call Master Berto, about health questions and about eating. He's like notorious for helping people get well and make them feel better. And I
Mm.
probably wouldn't be in the kind of shape that I'm in now if I didn't have Master Bergamo as an example of how to go through things and be healthier. I'm
Mhm.
extremely grateful for you, Master Berg.
Yeah. I just like giving and helping people, all types of people, and then a lot of people don't want to listen, which is normal, but because they think they know what they're doing right. But when he was sick, healing, and he's a perfect example because he was sick with COVID pretty bad. I mean, we almost
Yeah.
lost. Actually, yeah, it was bad, and he was strong enough to come back in that will. And then I just, would tell him how to think about, the energy of the universe has energy, and you can bring it in, and you can bring it into your body, and then and you can exhale and get rid of stale energy or thoughts. And so it's all the brain.
Yeah.
My aunt, my mother's sister, is 100 and almost three, and she's
Wow.
smarter and sharper and walks in a walker. And so that I said to her, she goes, "I stay peaceful inside all the time, and I don't want to think bad." So that's good. Somebody that's going to be 103 and still walking around and everything. That's You pay attention to that type of person and how
Wow,
she
man.
thinks. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing. And I'm tapping into all that stuff now. This is the beginning, a part of my journey and all that. And hearing you saying all that is like, it's motivational because that's what I want to get to? So that's amazing stuff right there for sure. I'm really getting into the
yeah,
meditating and the breathing and all that because it does help and the being positive and all that. That's where it all comes from. From that, I want to get to where you're at, man. That's like very inspirational hearing you say that. Yeah.
I've had a question that's been burning on my mind for a long time, Master Bergamo. Can you
uh,
tell me what the three best breaks that you've ever done are?
yes. And I was talking to Clint and Bob Anderson Wednesday. I, I did.
Oh, looks like a
I don't know
pause.
why my battery's running low. I
Oh yeah,
can't
you're good.
understand.
Yeah, you're back there now. You're back there. Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you good now.
I hung a coconut from a string. All right, and I spin hook kick, and cracked, and broke the
Woo.
coconut on the U.S. Open. And
Wow.
but I did it before that. We were down. Yeah, I don't know of anybody that's ever done that. And it
Wow.
was
That's
all done
incredible.
speed. Yeah, I mean, free hanging coconut on a string, and it cracked. And then, of
Wow.
course, Mike Reese says, "Well, you didn't break it in half, so that's why I didn't win the ultimate belt." And I said to him, "Yeah," I said, "Give me a break." But Mike is a good friend, and he's tough. But spin hook kick, I chopped through 9 solid boards, a stack of nine with a
Wow.
knife hand,
Wow.
and
Wow.
Do you
and
have
I've done well. My biggest break is 12 cinder blocks with an elbow, and
Wow.
yeah, that one
Wow.
some stuff for me. And
12.
the
Woo.
self defense, yeah, yeah, and solids. I've done solid maybe four cap blocks solid, and that. But that's a tough break. I mean, Paul Hickey's got that. Larry breaks solid. Really, he's done well too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. He does.
us. And then maybe a ridge hand. I've done maybe some solids. No, I actually I chopped through nine, and I down fisted through one of the I elbowed five solid But a lot of guys do five solid there, on the three directional. They do. It depends. That's all about holders.
Yeah, five
If you
solid.
don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
all about holders, if you have bad holders, nothing goes. No. And
yeah.
then when I did the Jay Leno show, the guy who was producer, I was supposed to do 12 coconuts in 20 seconds, and he made me stands that were on wheels, and it was out of plywood, and they were doing this when I hit the coconuts. And I looking at him, and he did, and I said to him, I said, "You're supposed to give me cinder blocks," and it was all going up and down, and it wasn't. I got him, but I had to kind of pick him up a little bit because they weren't going to go. You hit him, and it was going like this. The whole
Wow.
thing would move. So, and it was on wheels. So, well, but anyways, that was fun. That was
Yeah,
fun. But
those are some great
those are
breaks.
all I can think of.
Yeah, no,
But
those are
anyway,
great breaks.
so I would love to do this again. This has
Yeah, yeah,
been
yeah.
great
We'll
for
have you
me.
back on. We'll have you back on and do a part two. I know that you got to go soon as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And thanks for joining us today. Me and Larry are
Okay,
gonna wrap it up. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NEO a little bit, but you're
okay.
free to go right now. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. I appreciate it.
Well,
Take care, Larry. Larry, I'll talk to you. We'll talk. We'll talk
yes,
more.
yes,
All
sir.
right. Take care. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have like 10 more minutes before I got to go. So I just want to talk a little bit real quick about the NEO. It was a great event. Just sliding over to some pictures. I got a picture of you right now, Larry, with Clint and Max with all the trophies. A lot of hardware there. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 trophies for three people.
That was it was a good tournament for us.
Yeah.
Clint did amazing. He had good competition, and he really needed that to push him to go higher and do better.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting to go last because of his seating with the USBA WBA, and he got to go last. So all these guys are putting up these big numbers, and he's like, all right, I'll do it." And he came over to me and goes, "I got to do this many." I said, "Well, just go do it, just go do it." So he got like seven first and one third. So when he got his third,
Wow. Wow.
me being the guy I am, I go, "Dude, we don't get thirds. What are you doing?" And he put his head down and walked off. He didn't even want to hear me. And I was just messing with him. But it was funny to see his face, you know. He was like, "Oh man." I was like, "What's the matter? You couldn't get eight first. You had to just get seven. What is wrong?" It was hysterical. And I was just messing with him. And then
No.
his little boy is amazing.
Yes.
To be 3 years old and be on this level of competition is amazing. And I work with him, 3 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week at the dojo, at least twice a week. And that little guy, he tries so hard, and he works, and sometimes it's really hard to keep their attention that long.
Yeah.
You've done after school programs, and I know you have one now, and
Yeah.
you have karate camp. Man, sometimes working with those little kids is so enjoyable,
It
but
is.
sometimes it's so frustrating.
Yes.
They're so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, man. 3 years old, man. How long has he been training there with you guys already? With you,
Since he was 2.5. He's
two
been
and a
with
half.
almost
Wow,
now.
man, that's crazy. That's awesome. Imagine what a great breaker he's gonna be, right?
Oh, well, he's got a little buddy that runs and comes into the dojo too, and his name is Day Day, and he is a beast. He's going to be the power breaker from
Wow,
when he gets to
wow.
10, 12 years old. He's going to be knocking stuff out of the park if he stays with me. And little Max, he's going to be. They're back and forth with each other. It's really
Yeah,
cool to see that.
yeah.
At the tournament this weekend, I was able to get came back with three first places, and
Wow.
one of them, I was pretty. Everybody was asking me, "Why'd you kick with your left foot? Why'd you kick with your left foot?" And I was like, "Cause my right's messed up."
Yes, yes, man. And you listen. I couldn't believe that, and you won first place with the sidekick. Like you broke them all, literally. Like that's great because we were talking about this yesterday, training both sides, and like I'm a big believer in that, and obviously you are. So man, it's crazy. I always felt like for me, this is my mentality. I feel like my right is always going to be better with my left. So if I train my left hard, my right for some reason mentally or even it's or training wise is going to be even harder. So actually, it helps me develop this side, right? By getting this side even better. And at the same time, you never know when you need your left, right?
That's
Like,
correct.
that's something that my dad always taught me. Like, fight on both sides, because what happens if you're on this side and you break your arm with a kick? You want to protect it, switch sides so they can't keep hitting it. So that's always been my philosophy for it. So I know you train both sides really hard. You broke how many boards? 6 with no spacers?
Yes. Yes.
Whew, man, I
Well,
broke one. I
as
broke one. I broke one. And the second time zero. The first time zero, I broke one. So it's like with my right foot. So that's like, that shows how much, that's incredible to me.
well, that
Yeah.
the machine that they were using was a little bit different than what we normally use because they had to
Yeah.
modify it a little bit. So
Yeah.
you had to hit dead center to break, and if you didn't
Yeah.
hit dead center, you're just bouncing off of it.
So
And
that's what the trick, right? Dead center. Yeah.
so after I did the first time, Master Bergamo said, "Do a little dot, not a big one." And I put a little dot on there and aimed for that little dot and just blew it up.
Oh,
Bergamo actually helped me win that.
wow. Okay.
But then
Wow.
then I got to fight, and their
Yes.
fight was a little bit different than the way we fight in Texas. But
Yeah.
it was good because I got to do all three things. I got to break, I got to fight, and I got to do kata.
Triple threat. The
Yep.
real triple threat. People talk about in sport karate, triple threat. They do forms, weapons, and fighting. But this is the real triple threat right here in martial arts. That's incredible. And that's something that we've talked about events and doing a tournament with doing it all, right? Breaking forms and fighting, right?
But,
That'll be super cool one day.
but
Yeah.
see who the best all around martial artist is, you know?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can talk about how great their forms are or how great their fighting is and how great a breaker they are, but can they do all three and be competitive, you know?
Yeah,
I want to
man.
go in there and be competitive because in the real world, you know, when you step out there, you don't know somebody's going to try to take you. You've got to be able to be prepared and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And discipline, you know, like you were talking about earlier about
Yeah.
the right side and left side.
Yeah.
That discipline of training yourself every day, like Master Bergamo says, he trains every day. He goes every day and works out. And that's what we have to do as a martial artist because we don't know what's going to happen in this world. This world is crazy. So
Yeah.
be prepared and have that discipline to work out and be strong. You know, I'm impressed with you of coming from, you know, going to do one event and then competing in all four is amazing.
Bro, I'm hooked, man. Hearing you talk right now, I want to train. Like, I'm going to Orlando, and you know what I have in the back of my car, actually? You're going to laugh at this. I have the stand and I have my rebreakables. So I could break this weekend. And I want to break up there. I need to break, and I need to, like, that's it. My mind is already like training for the US Open next year and getting better and just being and like, man, I'm telling you, and you're a big inspiration to me. I keep telling you, I'm gonna keep telling you, like, the forms fighting and breaking. I want to do that. And like, I always thought that I was too old, and like, you're doing it, and you're older than me. And look at Ralph. So it's like, I always thought, like, okay, I used to almost have regret and be like, I wish I would have not retired so young. And then now you're like, okay, I'm not that young even now, right? So I could still do it. So that's what you put in my head, and it feels good. I feel like a little kid. I feel that I feel like a little kid, man, talking about all this. And like I said, look, I'm bringing my toys up to train in Orlando and everything.
Yeah, I usually have a square target with me almost everywhere I go
Yeah.
because I'll put it on something and I'll just start whacking it, you know, or I'll walk up to a solid wall and just start hitting it a little bit, you know, not trying to draw attention to myself, but just to
Yeah.
train my body because you never know. You never know.
You
If you
never
look at
know.
Eskimo's hands, they
Yes.
they're like a weapon. I
Yeah.
mean, they're a straight up hardcore weapon. And
Man.
one time he
Yeah.
told me, he said, I trained for the chop. So if any of my students ever mess with me, I'm going to break their collarbone. And I
It's
believe him. I believe him.
it's incredible, man. It's incredible for sure. Yeah, I'm having so much fun with it. But yeah, man. So we're gonna wrap up the show now. It was a great show with Ralph, and we're gonna be back next week with somebody else. Maybe we could get Ken or Drew on, or Parker Moody. I've talked to them. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna be doing
How
this
about
weekly.
We try to get Mike. Mike from
Mike Reeves. Yeah.
yeah. No, Mike. Mike from the from Ken Goodrich's dojo. I
Oh
want
yeah.
to talk to.
Yes, yes, yes. He would be great. And there's so many great breakers out there. Like even the people from from Team Chip Martial Arts. Like it'll be
Oh
cool to talk to Steve Fisher. Justin Cuellar. Those guys are awesome. And down here in Florida, get Nick Bergamo. He has a great team. And just we're gonna get to everybody every week. We're gonna have somebody new and just
I think we could do a show every day and have somebody new on there talking about something different. There's so many great breakers out there.
yes, yes. Yeah, hey, let's see. Maybe we'll get to 2 a week or 3 a week. We'll build it up to that eventually, right? So
That
it's so much fun for me. So yeah, man. Hey, have a good weekend. You got anything this weekend coming up,
no,
or taking a break?
I'm off. I'm going to work in my garden. I'm going to work around the house. It's going to be
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I,
that's awesome.
I've been, since the tournament this weekend. I didn't tell anybody this, but I was sick at that tournament. I
Wow. Yeah,
I drank some bad water, and my
yeah,
stomach was not good for that whole tournament.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
this whole week, I ended up going to the doctor on Wednesday.
Wow,
They gave me some
wow.
stuff that helped, but as a martial artist, we got to be prepared for anything. And
Yes,
I always want to be the best that I can be. And this weekend is going to be a down weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I am
yeah,
so
man. Rest. You got to rest up to heal up and everything too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's going to be a great weekend for me too. I plan on networking over there, maybe finding other martial artists that want to collaborate with me and maybe I get them to break. Right. So let's see, man. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right. Hey, have a good weekend. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Happy Friday. Let's get it, guys. All right. Bang, bang, baby. Woo.
baby.
Us. Yes.
Woo!
Woo.